This is just another move towards a mobility company instead of just a manufacturer.
All right, GM's looking to kind of be the Airbnb of cars, right? Airbnb lets people rent their homes out like it's a hotel. Now GM is looking at letting you use your car as a revenue generator. You can rent it out to somebody when you're not using it, make a little bit of money, defray your payments, and GM gets a little bit of money because you're using it on their Maven network, and if it works, it should work out for everybody.
So, I mean, obviously it will be a tiny little segment of anybody's profit margin or anybody's profits, David, but how would it eat into something like a Zipcar?
So Zipcar basically rents a car out for a few hours instead of like Hertz or Avis renting it out for days at a time. Actually, Avis owns Zipcar. Maven does this as well. Maven already works like Zipcar. They will rent cars out to somebody like you and I who just wants to rent a car out for a few hours, or they will rent them to drivers for Uber or Lyft or a variety of delivery services. This is an important piece of it because Maven has this network in 17 cities where you could easily put somebody's personal vehicle on that network and let somebody else rent it out. So on one side, GM's got the network. On the other, they've got millions of owners out there who've been buying GM cars for years, who they already talk to for warranty work, repair, service, you name it, and they can send out mailings or email and say, hey, why don't you put your car on our Maven network, and we can try to help you get some revenue and defray the cost of owning your car. And this is important, too, because GM doesn't own the car. They don't have to deal with the asset on the books. They don't have the depreciation. They're not maintaining it because it's owned by an individual.
Yeah, I was going to wonder, though, when I first heard of this, I thought, what happens if you borrow one of their cars, get into a car accident? What's the liability issue here? How far does GM have ownership and responsibility over these cars?
Yeah, that's a good question. And they haven't worked out all of the details yet. There are a couple of companies that already do this. There's GetAround and there's Turo. These are both startups who are already doing this in the U.S. Turo is a bigger one. Some of the big car companies already invest in both of those companies. So it's being done. It's out there. They may carry their own insurance. It may be on the insurance of the car owner themselves. You know, the details aren't totally worked out on how GM is going to do this, but the business already exists. There's even a third company called RideCell that actually builds the network if anybody else wants to kind of plug their own car sharing system into it. So these things are coming. It's a question of whether consumers are going to want them and if GM is one of the more successful players as this kind of thing grows looking down the line.